Hi, this is Erica DelSignore. I'm the founder of Daily Lead Campaign, and welcome to your weekly money-making mindset and marketing tip. And this week we are continuing our long series on the personality assessment, DISC assessments. This week we're going to talk about how to sell your products, services, ideas to the I personality. And the I stands for influencer. So you're going to find a lot of those I personalities in the sales or anything that has to do with maybe public speaking, anything where you have to be friendly and outgoing, because they have a very likable personality, they're very trusting, and they do have a strong need for approval. So I think of them as the golden retriever of the DISC assessment personalities, and I hope this doesn't insult anybody, because I am personally an I personality, and I don't change much depending on what situation I'm in. It really doesn't vary. I just am who I am. So I'm going to give you 7 tips on how to sell to them. The first one is always, with most of these personalities, is to reflect whatever their communication behavioral style is, and make sure that in this case you're probably going to see a lot of smiling and a lot of personable activity going on. They might make sure that you feel comfortable. They're usually a very good host or a hostess, so make sure that you're reflecting whatever they're doing in that way. The other thing is that this is the time to turn on the charm, the personal relationship, and the bonding. And that means now you're looking around their office, you're commenting on the pictures of their family and children, certificates, awards, whatever it is. Look around you and make sure that you are using what you see as a prop to bond. I mean, don't go overboard, maybe mention a couple things, but obviously you're going to look at whatever the situation is and use that. And the next thing is to talk about and emphasize the intangibles of the product or service, because in this case it's not just bottom line facts, it's going to be more about helping them visualize what your product and service is going to do for them in the very positive ways. And while you're doing that, I want you to really talk about how the purchase of what you have is going to affect the whole team, and make sure that they can envision what they're doing is really going to help the company. And that's super important. Now, number 5 is listen for underlying feelings and emotions. So you can say things like, so what you're saying is that you feel this way because, and just make sure that your questions have to do with pulling out emotions and the emotion that they might be feeling. How did you feel when you made the wrong purchase last time and it caused your customers' complaints to go up by 20%? Whatever it is you have to do, make sure you put that in there. And make sure, number 6, that you bring in a lot of third-party endorsements. So if you have your testimonials on video, or they can actually call and talk to somebody about your service and how they loved your service, that is something that you should do. And then the last thing is get a commitment for every decision along the way with the I personality, because they, out of all of the personalities that we're talking about today, are going to have buyer's remorse. And so they really get excited about an idea and they want to jump on board and they love to take chances. However, the next day they might be feeling like, ugh, what did I do? I'm going to cancel this. So make sure you're getting the buy-in, and you can ask questions like, well, what happens next week when your current vendor asks you to stay with them and gives you, an offer that's a little bit lower than mine? Are you going to go with that? I mean, those are great types of questions for the I personality, to put them in a box and make sure that everything that's happening today doesn't get completely reversed on you tomorrow. So hopefully this helps. This is your weekly money-making mindset and marketing tip. I will look forward to talking to you next week about how to sell to the Steady Relator personality. So stay tuned.